Hello everybody, this is David Campbell from Hassle-Free Cashflow Investing, and I'm joined today by one of my friends and fantastic business partners, Leah Slaughter from OmniKey Realty and 1107 Investments in Dallas, Texas. Leah, how are you today?
I'm doing great, David. How are you?
Fantastic. I'm really excited about the property management services that we've talked about from your company and the turnkey rental properties that we've introduced through your company. And today we have a new business concept that I think is going to be really appealing to those clients of mine that are looking for higher returns and want to take on just a small amount of management or business management or investment management in their portfolio in exchange for getting some higher yields. And right now yields in the marketplace are so compressed that being a completely passive investor is fantastic, but there's definitely limits to what the marketplace can deliver at this time in the market cycle. But what you're offering in this ability to force some equity is what we're talking about today, is how to force a little bit of equity with a small amount of work and be as hassle-free as possible, I think is really appealing. So Leah, tell us about what your fantastic opportunity that you're sharing with our clients.
Absolutely. So many of you have heard me speak before about our other company, our licensed real estate firm that deals predominantly in the outlying markets of North Texas. And that model is very centered on new construction and smaller areas that are outside kind of the main territories. And so there's this big push for people that want to be in the heart of the city, in the heart of the suburbs where Toyota and Liberty Mutual and State Farm and all these employers are going. The problem is the prices are just ridiculous. And so it's very hard to make numbers work. So we decided that we would create the ability to fill this need by buying the distressed properties in these areas at the lowest price points of starting entry level for these areas, but in great areas, great neighborhoods with really a easy access to being able to rent these to these professionals who are working at these employers. And so what we are doing is buying the ugly ducklings and making them like new and reselling them back to our investors with still some meat on the bone. So we're very particular in what properties we're doing, what areas we're doing. As always, we steer clear of all the high risk, high crime areas. That's been our motto from day one, and it will always be my motto. And so these are the areas where it's hard, if not impossible, to get into as an owner-occupant, but nearly impossible as an investor. And so these properties we're bringing are anywhere from $170,000 up to about $250,000, and it's a really unique opportunity to get in these areas that have been virtually impossible. And so the way that we're doing it is we're acquiring the ones that nobody else wants. You know, the ones that need foundation work or need new roofs or you need all new cosmetics, and we're taking care of all that ourselves. We're overseeing it all personally with the exact same level of attention that we've given with our new construction product through our other company. And then we're placing the tenant and selling it back to our clients with equity still left in the property. And so it's a great opportunity for those that want to be in the heart of the city and want to have something that they don't have to worry about. And everything is hassle-free, and that's always been our goal. And, you know, David, you and I are big believers in that we want to be passively employed. We don't want to be having to work full time. That's the whole point of getting out of that rat race. And so it's real important to us that that's the product we deliver. So I'm going to go over a little bit about how we look at our properties, what we're doing to the properties, what we decide on what to replace and what to keep, and then some of the recent deals we've done, and then some of the ones available right now. We're turning between 10 and 20 a month, so there's lots of inventory, but they do go very, very fast. Many of them will sell before they ever hit our available list. So at the end of this webinar, if you're interested, reach out to me, and we can put you on that list and get you first access before we mass blast it out.
Yeah, and so to go big picture, what we're talking about is the opportunity for clients to acquire properties that have recently been renovated, that are in strong locations and can make very suitable rentals, but they're not new. They're properties that are well located, have great cash flows, and it's the very typical like fix and flip model, or that acquire distressed, fix and keep as rental model, but you found a way to make that process turnkey and hassle-free for our clients.
Yes.
And so,
And the big thing is we're not slapping lipstick on a pig. There are so many companies who buy these and they make it look good, but they don't make it function good. And so our goal is that when you get the properties, the systems have been replaced, they've been updated, and it doesn't just look good, it acts good. And that's the biggest thing that is important to us to distinguish ourselves from a lot of the providers out there who, we're not going to use the vinyl that one washing machine is going to rip when it moves in. We're not going to patch a 20-year-old AC. We're not going to leave a roof with hail damage that's minor. It's little things that make it to where it can still be hassle-free, even though the property may not be brand new. And so I would say the average age of the properties we deal in is about 1995. So the majority of the homes we're talking about are newer, but if we're looking in cities like Plano and Richardson, then we're going to be looking in the older properties because there's just not newer properties anywhere near this price point. So it really depends on what territory we're talking about as what price and age we're going to be looking at.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so when we first talked about this business model, something that was very appealing to me is your company is fantastic at sourcing opportunities, doing renovations, and then here's the magic part, is providing that long-term management and customer service that other people who are in the marketplace of fixing and reselling on a turnkey model, they're gone as soon as that sale is made. And your company is very different because if you're going to buy something, fix it, and resell it to a client and then manage it for them, that's a very different level of commitment to finding the appropriate properties and appropriately renovating the properties to help that investor with their long-term success. So I know you've got some disclaimers before we go into some more specifics. And Leah, do you want to take away the boring part here?
Yeah, so the biggest piece of this is just to remember that this is not through OmniKey Realty. So for those of you that have heard me talk about our other firm before, the way that company works is we're helping you have direct access and we're representing you to find those properties. And 1107, we are the owner. We are the person who's bought it. We are the person selling it back to you. So there's no representation involved here. So it's just important that you keep that in mind. And all the numbers that we give and the details we give are our best estimates. When we have an appraisal on a property, we're going to upfront tell you what that appraisal is for. That way you can see what we expect that end value to be. And then, of course, the rent estimates are estimates, but they're based on other properties we have between both this company and OmniKey, who manages thousands, so that we can have the best idea of expenses. But it's just important to distinguish the two when you're buying from a different entity.
Yeah, and so in other words, OmniKey is looking out for your best interest as a broker. 1107 Investments is a seller, and a seller has a duty to represent their own interests. And so I can see that even though it's the same relationship with Leah, our clients need to really understand which hat they're talking to, whether they're working with you as a broker, a manager, or as a property seller, because those are three different motivations that require different levels of awareness and due diligence and fiduciary responsibility or not.
Exactly. And one of the things that I'm going to talk about is how we protect the end buyer, your client, in this transaction, even though we are not their buyer's agent. So there's a few things that we do to offer protection in these transactions that we'll discuss that gives clients real comfort in that. So this is just a little bit of background about my husband and myself. For those of you that have heard me before, we're middle school sweethearts. We started our company together right out of high school and college. We've got 3 adopted kiddos. We have been born and raised in Dallas our entire lives. So we live and breathe North Texas, and we're very active in a lot of charities throughout the city. So we're your typical mom and pop company. Yes, we're big. Yeah, we have a huge staff, and we're that corporate type of opportunity in terms of the level of service we can provide our clients, but we are mom and pop to our core. Every owner has my cell phone. Every owner is invited to our house for our little get-togethers every 3 months. We're very much one big family. And so I like people to know that going in because it speaks to the core of how we run our businesses and how we run the relationship moving forward. And David, it goes back to what you said. I'm not just selling a property to you. I'm managing the property. I'm taking care of the property. So I'm on the hook from day one to the end. And so it's paramount to me and my relationship with you, and also my reputation, to make sure that we're delivering the best possible product that we can, something we're proud of and something we can back.
Yeah, Leah really exemplifies integrity. And so that is really one of the most important things you can look for in deciding which people to align yourself with. And just admire Leah's professionalism and her attention to detail and integrity. And she is a hard worker, amazing. Sometimes I'll be get an email from her and like, aren't you asleep yet, Leah? Come on. So anyway, really enjoy working with Leah and her team. So Leah, tell us about the nuts and bolts of what is available and why would our clients be interested? What are the benefits that would be bring to our clients?
Okay. So number one, we are pretty consistent across the board with every turnkey property we do. And when I say consistent, I mean they look very similar. And so what we're trying to do is take these properties and modernize the floor plans, modernize the features, and modernize the look. And so this is an example of one that I actually just sold to one of your clients. He closed just a few days ago. This was in Plano, which for anybody that knows North Texas knows that Plano is probably the most desirable city to be in. And this bathroom was completely done, which is our standard protocol at a property of this age. This was a 1970s home. And so this property literally is brand new. The property was so good that the lender that gave the rehab loan actually gave kudos up the line about how this property looked. And it's just one of those things that when we're dealing in these older homes, there's typically nothing we can keep in terms of the fixtures and the features inside. So we took down the walls, we modernized the fixtures, we put in all new cabinets, we put in all new tubs, all new surrounds. And, you know, one of the things that I see on the property management side with OmniKey is a lot of times people will buy these older properties and they look really good. I mentioned that earlier. And one of the things that we see are people, they don't replace the tubs, they just refinish them. They don't replace the tile work around the property. They paint it where it looks like new tile, but 6 months later it starts peeling. It's the little things. So on the surface, this bathroom looks beautiful, but what I can tell you is down to its guts, it's beautiful too. So that's actual marble surround. It's a mock marble around and then true marble insert. Brand new toilet, brand new tub, all new fixtures, lighting, granite countertops. We do the undermounts because it looks better. Those are all dovetailed cabinets, so these aren't cheap Lowe's, Home Depot type cabinets. They're all custom ordered. You can see all new fixtures. On the right, we put in a laundry kind of cabinet instead of just leaving that space open. So we're maximizing space, maximizing storage. And this is the standard thing we do in every single property. We, throughout all the main areas, will do a wood look vinyl. So that's what you're seeing there. Again, it's not the cheap roll vinyl. This is a plank vinyl, very strong commercial warranty. Again, you'll see that marble custom tile backsplash. You'll see the big custom cabinets. That cabinet on the left is a pantry cabinet. So it's like 2.5, 3 feet deep. And it allowed us to build a pantry space where there was none. That other bathroom to the right was a master shower renovation. Again, custom marble work throughout, all new flooring, all new baseboards, all new door trim. Everything was brand new. And so it's this level of finish that is going to attract your Class A buyers in a Class A city. And so that's what our entire goal is. Now, if you look at the picture first off, the kitchen didn't look anything like that. We've re-revamped the whole thing here. So if you look in this picture on the right, you can see that kind of half wall that built the other side of the kitchen. That wall extended all the way through the property. And then there was another wall on the front that isolated the entry and the front living room. And so what we did, this is a 1,700-ish square foot house. We took all the walls out. And so it's this nice, big, open, modern floor plan that every buyer wants. And so this property looks incredible. We did all new texture. We did all new everything. So when you walk in, it's not a pieced together repair like you see in a lot of these houses where they do a little touch up here, a little texture repair here. No, we literally went down to studs and retextured this whole house too. And so it's that level of make ready that makes these properties look so good. And looking good is what attracts the right tenants, and having the right tenants is what creates a good tenancy and a good return. And so you'll see throughout this whole home, all new windows, all new doors, master closet on the right turned out incredible because the houses in this area don't have closets like that. So we just find space where we can and maximize it. We get rid of all wasted hallways, etc.
So this is really, it looks like a new home, but you're starting with places or homes in areas where there is no land, right? I mean, there's not an abundance of land available to build starter homes in Plano. Like, it doesn't exist. The new construction in Plano is so expensive that it would never cash flow. And so what you're providing for our clients is acquiring, you take on the hassle. You go buy the ugly duckling, you make it like new, and then you provide it to investors who can have a like new home in A locations, and still have a chance of creating cash flow because you're doing it at a price below new construction in these prime areas.
That's exactly right. And the things that we do are over the top sometimes. Like this house, we got an engineer's report. We went and did foundation repair. We scoped the plumbing lines and made plumbing repairs. It's little things we do to put it over the top, but those little things are what give you that return, and those little things are what make you stand out above all the others, because the end goal, of course, is having equity in these to be able to sell down the line as the market goes up. And so we're putting you in a position where we can make that happen. We can give you the best possible product for the best possible price. And this particular property, we sold 15,000 or so below our appraisal.
Yeah,
so
fantastic.
It still left meat on the bone for the client too.
Yeah, and it's unique positioning that you have in the marketplace because your economy of scale, your management company brings you deal flow that no one else gets. Your vendor relationships, you're bringing them volume that results in pricing benefits to 1107 investments. And so what you're able to do is very unique. It'd be very difficult for a one-off client to show up in the marketplace, acquire and replicate the model that you're doing one at a time. And so very much you can use your buying power and your management strength to create something unique for our clients that I candidly have not seen anywhere else. And so I'm very excited that our clients have access to the relationship with you and the benefits that your team can bring.
No, 100%. And I appreciate all that. The other thing I will say is we treat this company much like we treated OmniKey all these years. And that's that we're not here to get rich off every one deal. We're here to make a little bit on a lot of deals. And so our average spread on these profit-wise is between 10 and 20,000. Most flippers are looking for 40 to 50. And so, yes, the spread is lower, but it's something that we can do times 100 where nobody else can. And so everything we do is meant to benefit all of us. It benefits you, David, it benefits me, it benefits the client, and that's how we all become successful together. And that's that team and that family mentality that's so important to us.
Yeah, nice. Is this a real house or is this like a magazine? Like one of those clip art photos? Like nobody buys a rental house that looks like that. Come on.
Well, you know what's crazy? So let's go through some of these recent ones. Then these are ones that have been done in the last 30 days. So when I say recent, I mean recent. So this is in the middle of rehab of that Plano one we just looked at. So this is a super cute house, and these are those numbers we just talked about. So the client picked this up for $230, and it appraised with us at $243 before renovations. And that's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,606 square feet, built in 1976. And this was, again, in the heart of Plano. Awesome, awesome property. And that one just closed a few days ago.
So this is the before picture. Is that right?
This is mid-rehab.
Mid-rehab. Got it.
You can actually see that one of the new windows is already in on the left over there.
Oh, there you go. Yep, I can see that. Yep.
So this next one here is one that's currently in rehab. It's already sold. But this one, we sold it at $165. It appraised pre all that renovation we did at $170. This is another one of your clients who bought this. This was a 4-bed, 1.5 bath in the heart of North Garland. Awesome, awesome location right by Firewheel Mall and the George Bush Turnpike expansion. And so this one's 1,223 square feet, built in 1978. And again, this is just like that Plano one, completely redone. It already has a new roof and foundation work, and that's the stage we're at right now, is finishing out the interior design and layout, and then we'll start the finishes. So we're about 3 weeks from completion on this one. But again, awesome property with that built-in equity going on already. And the rent on this one's about $1,475 to $1,500, so a really good number too. So this one is another one that it's actually in its last 2 days of rehab right now, another one of your clients. And so this one appraised at $210 with us. We sold it for $205. This is an almost brand new home. I think it's 3 years old, almost 4 years old. This is a 4-bed, 2-bath, 1,700 square feet, and this is in the heart of Princeton. So this is right next to McKinney, right in kind of the all desirable area, still Collin County, and just a great property again. And we've actually got another one that's right by that one that we're going to talk about in just a minute that's available. So this one is in Little Elm. Now, Little Elm is right next to Frisco, and this is actually right on the Frisco border, so it's on the closer side of Little Elm. Awesome property. This one is built 1999, but it's a pretty modern floor plan. The only thing that we're tweaking is the kitchen. We're going to be dropping down. They have like a breakfast bar, which if you remember in the late 90s, 2000s, this breakfast bar thing was extremely popular. Well, now everybody wants to eat at island. They want to sit low. They want it to be a part of the kitchen. So we're taking out the breakfast bar, lowering that down, doing all new awesome granite countertops, revamping the kitchen, revamping the bathrooms, a brand new roof, all new flooring, all new paint, all new texture. It's gonna, again, look brand new. Get those solar screens off, repaint this baby blue back to a normal color. And the great thing about this neighborhood is it's a great family-friendly and kid-friendly neighborhood because of that community pool and the amenities it has. But the HOA dues are very low, so it's great for an investor and very enticing for a homeowner down the line or for a tenant right now who doesn't want an in-ground pool or certainly in this price point can't get one. So this is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,507 square foot, built 1999, and this one is available now. We actually started renovation on this house today. And then this next one is, this one's a 2-bath. Again, this is going to have all new flooring, all new paint, a kitchen renovation, all new granite countertops, open up the kitchen a little bit, all new fixtures, update bathrooms, all of that. And this is the same thing, very low HOA fee, so it entices you as an investor without having huge HOA expense, but gives those amenities back to the tenant, which is very desirable. Now, one of my favorite things about this house is we're sub 200, and being in a newer home in Collin County, being under 200 is really very difficult, almost impossible. And so it's a little bit smaller. It's that perfect entry-level kind of starter home, but it's bigger than those 1,300 square footers we usually see for entry level. So I think this one's going to go really quick. We actually just added this one, and we'll start renovation. This is on a lease back with the current owners. So this will be available for a purchase for June, but of course it will pre-contract now in advance of that closing for June.
So tell me, Leah, when would my client buy the property? What condition would that property be in, and who manages those renovations, and are they done before or after the investor purchases the property?
Absolutely. So number one, before any investor closes on the property, the renovation is 100% complete. We have done a pre-inspection with a third-party inspector and cleared every item on that inspection report. And in addition to that, you will, with your lender, do your appraisal or whatever's needed for your loan. So nothing will begin, nor will your purchase process begin other than pre-contract holding it with earnest money until the property is 100% completed. And we take care of the inspection. We give a copy of that to you, completely transparent, and then we have them go back out all at our expense to clear every item on that report once we fix it. And then in addition to that, we're going to provide you with a 1-year home warranty from our purchase date. So you've got that third-party protection in place just in case. Say you buy a property and we didn't replace the water heater because it's 1.5 years old and God forbid it fails in 3 months, you've got a home warranty to cover that as well.
Nice. And when the investor purchases, is the property vacant or tenanted?
So as soon as we near the end of completion, one of the forms in our contract is you giving us authorization to pre-market and pre-lease the property. And of course, we always recommend you agree to that. And so we are marketing for a tenant and working to place a tenant while the rehab is finishing and before you purchase as well.
Fantastic. And then about appraisals, does the contract have an appraisal contingency in the contract?
There's a financing in the contract. So of course, if you can't qualify for your financing, then you're not having to purchase the property, and that's part of your financing contingency.
Awesome. So if we contract at 194 and it appraises at 195, well, that's great for the investor. And if it appraises at 193, what would happen?
if it appraised at 193, we would just drop the price, but we wouldn't guarantee any price reduction because we just don't know what it's going to come in at. But I can tell you that I have never had that be a problem.
Yeah. It's very interesting with appraisals. Like they're subjective to start with, and
Yes.
at the price points and the finishes that you're working with, I do see so much tremendous value. I wouldn't anticipate that being an issue. I mean, you're really creating a bunch of value for your clients, but it's important that people know when they're getting into a transaction that they are buying. They're not overpaying, because that's definitely like a trap in a lot of turnkey models, is people are marking things up above market and then the clients aren't really getting value, and that's not what's happening here. I mean, you really are delivering quality product at market value price, or even, as you said, with meat on the bones, some found equity for the client.
Exactly. And one of the things, so I personally comp every deal we're doing, or my husband does. And one of the things we look for are other people renovating their houses. If we're looking at the comps, if none of them have been renovated, then that's not a neighborhood that we're going to go into. So every one of these, we've looked at every active, every sold, we've looked at what they look like and made sure that other people are putting money into upgrading these neighborhoods too. And so when we look at these numbers and we come up with what we think it's worth on the open market, we always sell to your client at least $5,000 below what we would list it at on the open market, typically $10,000 to $15,000 below. So specific are really not a concern of ours.
Awesome. So Leah, when our clients are watching this presentation, a lot of them are watching it alone without their spouse, but they're going to have to talk their spouse into being as excited as they are about the opportunity. Can you give us the 30-second soundbite that someone can take to their partner and say, honey, guess what? I'm really excited about. Give us that 30-second elevator pitch.
Absolutely. So North Texas is one of the fastest growing areas in the U.S. and also one of the most stable markets. We are diversified in the income and the jobs that are here, and we are still in a housing shortage. If you look at statistically the relocations and move outs of all these other areas, they're coming to North Texas because of our low cost of living and our high comparable income bracket. So there's this unique opportunity with all these people moving here and property values going up to go into these high growth, high targeted areas and be able to be at the lowest end of the numbers. So you have the best potential for growth and increase, as well as a great passive holding investment. And so what we're offering is access into those main areas that are very hard to get into with a strong, solid product that is something that you're going to be comfortable with for years to come.
Fantastic. And if somebody is interested in taking you up on access to these great investment opportunities, how do they connect with you, and how do they let you know that they're a hassle-free investing client, and what's the benefit of someone being a hassle-free investing client?
Absolutely. So if you go to our website, you're going to see our available inventory, but you're going to see it priced higher. So by working with David Campbell and being a member of one of our partner organizations, you're getting better pricing than what we offer on the open market when we list. And so it's basically cutting out the middleman, right? And so by being a client, you're getting that preferred access. So I know David's going to give you a way that you can get in contact with us, or you also can contact us directly at that email or phone number as well on the slide here. And so when you reach out, just make sure you let us know that you're one of David Campbell's clients. That way we can make sure that you get access to his exclusive list of our inventory before it hits the market.
Fantastic. Thank you, Leah, for your time. And clients at home, I encourage you to contact Leah with questions. You can also fill out a form that's in the link in this video. In the comment section of this video, you can click a link and fill out a request for more information. You can also call or email direct, and be sure to let Leah know that where you found her, so that we can both provide you with fantastic service.
Absolutely. Well, I really appreciate the opportunity, David, and we look forward to hearing from some of you.